Welcome to another ICC Blitz Banter show. So this is the 2nd of December 2016. Hope you've all had a good week and very interesting experience of the World Chess Championship, of course. So we still have Magnus Carlsen as World Champion. Okay, hi all on stream. Okay, ready to rock and roll here. Trent David is here. Let's start off with this game. Trent David. Let's play G6. This is a 3 minute with 2 second increments. I'll play. I think I'm going to play for C5. Or is that too dangerous? Try it. So we've got Benoni structure here. Quite dynamic. Usually in the Benoni E6 ED and use the E file. But also playing for B5, maybe B4 later to hit this. So actually that's another plan. I'm interested in knight C7, maybe rook B8 and B5. So A6, A5, rook B8, B5. So rook B8 and B5 for B4. Okay, knight H5 was also interesting. Maybe for bishop D4 and E5 and queen H4 for knight G3. That's another interesting idea here. Bishop D4, check, king H1, E5, and then play for queen H4 and knight G3. Okay, so I'll play E5 here, I'll drop D6 there. I'll play knight, actually, I'll play knight A6. Let's play B5. This is quite bind. So there's a couple of plans potentially. Let me see, is he actually going to play bishop E3 or king H1? I'm just going to check this. Alright, so E5 takes bishop E6. If queen D6, queen H4, I think that's dangerous. I'm gonna play this. I'm not going to play that as a pre-move because that's a legal move. So it takes queen D6, queen H4. It's dangerous for knight G3. Although he's on my rook. No, the rook's protected by that one. Okay, we've got this dangerous mating pattern. Queen H4 for knight G3. Also, there's a possibility of B5. So I'm going to calculate this. Actually, what am I talking about with queen D6? I've blocked the D6 pawn. This bishop, what am I talking about? So basically I want to play just queen H4 for knight G3. Okay, knight F4 might be possible, just to get that dark square bishop and open up the E5 square. I can still, I think, play for B5 pretty soon. Okay, there's also G5, but I think B5 for taking knight B6. Although I'm weakening A6 in the process there. So that's interesting. He's covering H4. Okay, can I play for a bit of play like this? So AB, knight B6. I guess there's knight A5 for knight C6. Maybe bishop D7. Knight A5 for knight C6. Maybe I've got bishop D7 there. Okay, he's ruled out queen H4. This bishop's kind of nice on the dark squares though. Potentially I've got pressure down this B file. Right, let's protect A6 and hit B2. There's knight A4, but then he's not hitting A6 immediately. But if the rook moves, he could play C3 to kick the bishop back. That looks a little bit weakening. Maybe I can just take on B2 here. I can't see what's the matter with that. Does weaken C3. Okay. So. There's rook c2. Hold on a sec. Things are dropping off. I've also got things like queen f6 on c3. There's also this queen's kind of a bit overloaded. I wonder, what does he do to queen f6? So if I'm on c3, there might be bishop g4. If takes, f3 check as well. But I think I can just snap this off here. So rook c3, queen c3. I don't think there's enough time for this attack with queen h4. I think I'll just play rook e2 check. Rook takes e2 check. If king f1, queen f3 is mating there. Not enough time for this attack. Is that bishop g4? There's rook d2 with tempo. Hold on a sec. Which gives me bishop g4 for f3 soon as well. Although that's not entirely... Okay. Okay. Bishop g4, f3, and bishop b4. Just bishop b4 just to hold that bishop for a moment. There's also queen. There's queen b2 actually. Queen b2. That's probably good. Just on e2. How do you defend e2? If he plays, well, I'm taking here. I think I'll take with the maybe the f pawn or the h pawn. Gives me queen check actually. Yeah, if I take this h pawn, I've got queen h8 check and mating. I think nearly, not quite. Well, there's rook h2 check just to
check.
Get queen h2. I think there's just queen e5. Okay, thanks for the game, Trent David. Okay, Vuv. Hi, Vuv. Let's play d4. And if I play knight d2. So, knight f6. Sorry, knight f3. Not knight f6. This is pretty standard stuff. Okay, can I play bishop b5? I've tried to play this before this system wrong. I played it wrong before. I think I need to take and just bishop drop back. I think this is okay, as long as I don't go on a pawn hunt like I have done in one recent Blitz game, which could have ended in total disaster. Right, if I give my bishop c2 to c4, although I think he's got a reasonably good position actually, although that isn't a developing move just yet. I wonder, queen h4, I hope I've got g3, hope there's no major disaster, or knight f3. On knight f6, yeah, I think I can play queen e2, threatening e5. If takes, then I'm opening up this diagonal on h7. Right, now it's getting tricky. Do I want to give up h2 or h3? Maybe h3. I'm not sure about g3. I think h3 is okay. And if I play for e5, so rook e1 for e5, this check's got to be factored in. I've always got king h1 at the moment. Hi on stream. Hi Jordan Couch on stream. Hi everyone on stream. So alright, here I'm getting some light squares. If takes, there's bishop h7 for queen e4. Queen e4 immediately is just knight f6. I can nick a pawn, which I think
check
is an interesting idea, just to nick a pawn. Although giving up my
check.
Attacking bishop, and then bishop c6 after, maybe a bit of backfire if I give up my attacking bishop, but I think it's worth it. If I can get in knight c4 after this, I suppose he'll play bishop c6 soon. Queen e6, rook ae8. Queen c4 gives me queen h4. Maybe, I think knight f3 just shatters my pawns. Knight b3, can I target c5 here? Knight b3 for bishop e3. Just c5 is a bit vulnerable. Well, he's got bishop b5. I've got a tempo gainer with queen h4. I wonder if for bishop e3 there's also f4 to factor in. So maybe my queen wants to be on h4. Also, I don't like the look of rook f6 coming up to attack the king here. Maybe I should play check and bishop g5 just to hold against rook f6. Potentially, just to hold against that rook f6 possibility. Right, I can play the check and bishop g5 just to hold against rook f6. Don't want any nasty rook lefts. The centre file looks interesting here because I'm controlling d8 as well. So if I can put pressure down the d file, rook a81, rook d2, rook here, where would the bishop move? The bishop would be stuck there. Okay, so we can probably do a battery on g2. I've also got to factor in c4 moving the knight away from b2. This bishop a6 to b7 could be a problem. Right, there's a few problems here. So maybe there's knight a5 if I wasn't getting mated. So knight d2, okay. Bishop a6 hits b2, but knight e4 hits the bishop. Bishop b7 pins the knight to g2. Maybe in that position, well actually there's rook takes d6. He's got queen e4 in that position. I've just given away the knight, haven't I? The knight can just be taken there. Oh, blimey. What am I up at? Alright, rook g4. Change of plan, rook g4, and I'm busted at the moment. I'm technically busted, yeah. That was crazy. That was absolute madness. Oh boy. Okay, I'm hoping for e4 and I can take on d6. He's going to counter blunder or I'm dead. I could be dead meat. Bishop h6. Why did I just blunder the knight? e4, rook d6. Bishop h6 might be dangerous. He protects g7. Alright, can I just try and put some pressure here? Otherwise I'm dead meat. If I get to play h6, I'm hoping. That was an unfortunate knight blunder. That was a very unfortunate knight blunder. But with h6 coming, and he's only got 30 seconds, I'm hoping this is not the end of the world for this game, at least. Okay, what does he do here? e4? I think it's a bit tricky. I don't have to use h6 just yet. Right, if I put the bishop back for h6, I'm g2 at the moment, as long as I'm not getting immediately mated. Maybe rook g6 here. Maybe rook g6, that's a little bit on the dangerous side. Right. Bishop here again. I think he's under pressure. But yeah, hasn't entirely gone to plan. Is h6 possible? It's dangerous. If he takes, it's mate. If he doesn't take, alright, he's threatening the rook. Let's get the rook out of danger. Rook's in danger there. Just hold this for a moment. Is he going after this pawn? Okay. If I hit the bishop and protect c3, alright. Right, it's just, don't know. Now this pawn. Is he going to play bishop g2? Bishop e4. Alright, is hg any good? Or rook d1? Rook e1? Okay, there's rook g6 here. Is that the first sign I might have a chance here of something? and take the queen. He's on my queen again. And there's rook g7.
Check.
Now I'm holding g2 here. Oh, it wasn't. It's queen h4. Something clever. Queen h4, rook e3.
Check.
Okay, he's on g2 though.
Check.
Try and play rook e3. Oh my word.
Check.
Don't tell me he's a brilliant bullet player as well. I could have taken that. Oh dear.
Check. Check.
Right, bishop c5 to d4. Oh, is this an increment game? I'm totally dead if it's an increment game. I'm completely dead.
Check.
He's actually gaining time. I'm wondering if this is an increment game. Okay, that's good news. Get some material back.
Check.
I think this is a good position after that
Check.
counter blunder. So
Check.
right, f3 is the target. If I hold f3 for a moment and play g5, g6, g7, try and overload my opponent.
Check.
Okay, I'm not minding this position. There's no immediate mate, is there? With rook e4. Okay, that was tough. That was tough. Alright, painful death. That's a nice nickname. Okay, I must avoid these increment games. When they go wrong. Oh, it's 3-2 again. Oh, thank you. It's 3-2. Play d6 to stop d6 from white. Alright, if I castle here and wait for f4 to be weakened. I'll hit h3. Protects h3, that's no big deal. And c5 is a bit of a problem. Sorry, not painful death. Why did I read that as painful death? That's a state of mind. It's actually reading peaceful death. Okay. Oh dear. Oh dear. Okay, now I've got an e4 target. Maybe b5 for b4. Try and weaken e4. Okay, that was the plan anyway. What about c5 here? Or we can d6 instead. Try and put some pressure here. Is there a pressure point on f4? Maybe knight h4 for a moment. Bishop moves back. He wants to retain that bishop, I assume. There's another way of pressurizing e4. If I play rook c8, bishop. Oh, I'm taking that guy out. I'm taking that guy out. Wow, I'm taking that guy out. Okay, I just need this pressure, not there, because it will take. I just had that plan, but yeah, it's a bit flawed technically. So e4 is obviously slightly weak. Can I play? Is it worth just playing d5? If ed knight d5 takes knight d5, 22 knight h5 instead. Rook c8. Queen c8. downside to the opponent's position here is e4 slightly weak. Maybe I just take on e1 and take on d5 and hope for the best. I'll take on e1, take on d5. If he plays e5, I want that, I think, as a knight e4. Be hammering this diagonal with that pin on e5. Okay, can I just... If I go back here for a moment, I know there's knight b5. But maybe just takes here, takes my queen. I think that's a good centre pawn. I've fractured the pawns in that scenario. Alright, can I do this? Oh, hang on. This is check. Is it worth getting the queens off? Or playing bishop d5? Alright, let's simplify.
Check.
Maybe there's rook c8.
Check.
Something after rook c8. I hope. There's rook c2, for example, rook g2. There was. In this position, if he takes, is that pawn more weak than it's useful? I should have considered. No, that's fine. Rook e2 is threatened. Okay, so he takes on c4 or not. I'm just going for my. Okay. It's going for a nasty pin. Hang on. Right, I can play rook b8. If rook c4, rook b2. Maybe king f3, f5. I'm not sure this is anything, of course. He's got outside pass pawn, he's got fractured pawns. If I play f5 here, takes, c5 king, and there's not time for g6. My king was h6, that might be better. c4, c4, rook b2, okay. Play rook b4 here, holds the c4 pawn. If a5, rook a4, if b3, okay. He's going to play b3. In fact, to that one. Am I losing this after rook b4, a6, rook a8, a7, rook a8? Let's see. I don't like the passive rook. Pawn's kind of potentially weak. I have to get my king to the centre, I think. If I can get this pawn, not sure. Does my king have enough time to get over here? b3 is dangerous. He'll play here for rook b7. Oh, this position. Alright. The rook b7 scenario. Right, there's rook d8 to the rook b7, rook b8 scenario. Or king h and then check. It's too passive. My rook's too passive. Don't like this. Rook c7, rook d3. Takes. Rook b7, king h7. Right, rook d3, rook b3.
Check.
If I take as a check for c3 maybe. There's always rook b3 to rook b7. Otherwise this is nearly fatal. Rook b3. That's got outside h pawn. Hold on. Start moving this. I've only got 28 seconds. This is increment though. I don't know if the h pawn's enough of a distraction. Don't think the h pawn's enough of a distraction. He's always got b3 or b4 at some point.
Time warning.
I think you can just... Maybe sack the rook and play h2. Now he's coming in with his pawn here. Totally winning.
Check.
Yep. That's it. This has got a perpetual check. That would be a miracle. I wouldn't have thought so.
Check. Check. Check.
Play swindle. Don't think a swindle's going to happen. Okay, I think it's enough.
Check.
Oh dear. Okay, well played. J Russell 2. Let's see if I played J Russell 2. Okay, not yet. Alright, let's play a Vienna game. Okay, so Vienna game, castle and f5 after. Okay, castle and f5. Okay, rook g1, or taking maybe maybe queen c2 just for a bind on d5 if he took, get bind on d5. Okay, so rook g1, bishop e3, something like that. Okay, if I take a bishop g5, If d4, I think I've taken knight d5. Or taken knight d5 anyway. It's a reasonable knight against the bishop. Right, it takes on b2. Maybe rook b1, queen a3, rook b3. Okay, if I maybe just double. Actually, yeah, rook g3 might be better. Just for queen h5 and rook h3 later. So I think rook g1, queen h5, rook g3 is going to be dangerous. I'm on f7 there anyway. So I think the knight's pretty good here. Yeah, this is a pretty cool knight. Just make sure there's no problem here. So queen h5, rook g3 to h3. Okay, so I'm on f7. I think I want to play. Well, I'm on f7. He plays bishop c5. Maybe rook f1 to f3 to h3. Right, I'm threatening actually queen h7 here for rook h3. A mating pattern. Queen h7, rook h3. Which makes sure I just take this checkmate. I think it might still work here. If I takes rook h3. Looks to be a checkmate.
Check.
Alright, thanks for the game. Clownfish and FM. Clownfish. Hi there, Clownfish. Let's play this. There's a dangerous line with. I know. Dangerous line with g4. So I think. What am I going to do here? h5. Okay. Maybe this is a 3-minute game. Okay. Is he going to take that? Might be a bit of play if he takes that. Is there maybe some sort of gambit there? Put some pressure on d4. Solid so far. CD, is that a problem with knight b5? I don't think so. Actually, I've got bishop b4. So I think bishop b4 coming up. I don't think it matters if he takes necessarily. Okay, my king's in the centre, but I don't know, is he going to exploit that? Rook c8, rook c4. I think rook c4 is bishop e3. Maybe rook c6. There's a knight a4. Not yet. He hasn't got knight a4. It's pinned at the moment. Maybe I should just take that and rook c8. Right, if I just take rook c8. There's rook c4 here. It takes on d5. Take on c3. My dark squares are a bit weak. What about queen b5? Just trying to crawl on the light squares for a bit. No rook b3 at the moment. Alright. He's got queen b4 if I'm not careful. Queen e7. Maybe I'll take with the pawn here. I'll take with the pawn. These dark squares are very sensitive, of course. His king's safer actually. I've got to be careful about the king here, controlling some entry squares on dark squares. And c5, that might be a risk worth taking to get a passed pawn here. Maybe. Right. If I try and blockade at a5, a4, actually, maybe that's safer. And try and fix these pawns on b3. Maybe let's be blockade with a4. Bishop d3 to c4. Going to play queen b4 here without getting exterminated. Otherwise there's queen c5. I think it's safer just to do this. I don't want to get exterminated with queen c5 on e7. This outside pass pawn, I think I can stop it with bishop d3. Takes bishop d3 coming up. There might be, if I could flick in bishop d3, if I flicked in c5 in that scenario, it takes some. I can get rid of the a pawn with bishop c2. So we get rid of the pawns and try and flick in c5 later. I think flicking c5 just to try and generate a pass pawn. Might just a way of losing as well. Because it will just protect it. Let's blockade this for a moment. Does he want to draw? I'll try and undermine too many pawns on dark squares. I'll play for e5 actually. He's got a pawn, I think it's pretty much fortress. The king can go here. That could be a winning attempt. It might be worth exploring. He's only got 20 seconds. Let's put a bit of pressure. Play e5 here. That wasn't pawn mobility. That's bishop c2. This pawn's a goner. Well, it's blockaded. That can't be good because I've got rolling centre pawns. c5, c4, d4. I've got rolling centre pawns here.
Check.
It's no good for white this position, surely. I'm running out of pawns, am I? Right, his king's not going anywhere. If I just go for h4 for a moment, his b pawn's not going anywhere. I just need to get this h4 pawn before letting him sack his bishop for anything. His bishop's not going anywhere. Okay, if I take that, takes b3 after, takes maybe he's drawing. Let's just check this for a moment.
Time work.
Alright, I think he's drawing with b3. Where is he? Hang on a sec. No. I'll just get his pawn. I've stopped b3. I thought he had b3 just then. Okay, we're going to get an interesting position here. Yes.
Check. Check.
Okay. Put this out of the way. Is this? We're playing an increment game here.
Check.
Is this an increment game?
Check.
Alright, thanks to the game, Fish. Forbes variation. Yeah, I think he just had b3 drawing in the end. He didn't need to allow bishop e6. I think b3 was drawing. Whew. What's happening here? Okay, rocky top. Okay, that's bishop e7, queen 7 b5. So, interesting Sicilian position. Is he going to play knight b5 or play b5? Maybe I should castle, just wait for him to attack at the moment. It's a bit scary. It's classic Sicilian defense looking position. I'll let him take that pawn, maybe d5. If g5, knight d7, knight c5. Do I want that square for the knight? I'm playing knight c6 here. For knight d7, knight c5, knight a4. Try and get a rook to b8 later. If I have this set up with knight c5, knight c6, make a rook here to b8 gives f8 for the bishop. So I think that sort of plan, knight c5 to a4, hovering over with possibilities of knight c3. I'm going to take that pawn at some point. Okay, I'll play knight c6 to kick off here. He's not taking that pawn. Right. I'll protect e6 as well. Against, maybe there's a sack coming. I don't know, rook b8. There's also knight e5 to c4. Plays b3. Plays b3. So, okay, something like rook b8, knight e5, he plays b3. what happens here? I don't think he's sacking at the moment. Is he taking here? Takes. I mean, he could consider taking, I suppose. Queen d7. That might be quite good. Ouch. Queen d7 takes. Rook e8. Oh, he can do all sorts here. Maybe if I took with the queen, then bishop c5 I can play queen c5. Okay, he's going to smash through for my king at this rate. This looks like a very good attacking plan. Have we got any chances to do anything here? If I play knight e5 for knight c4, does he parry that immediately? b3. This g6 to hit e6 is a bit horrible. He's using a bit of time here though. Getting a big clock advantage. It's not an increment game, right? Oh, it is an increment game, 3-2. Everyone wants to play increment against me tonight. Okay. Alright, it's still clock pressure here. Come on. So is he going to play b3 or not? g6, fg, knight e6, knight e6, bishop e6. I'm going to get mated here if I'm not careful. What's the way to not get mated? Okay, I'll do this for a moment. I'll play e5 here. And d5. Bishop c8, maybe bishop c8. My king's about to be mashed. I take it. Mashed gets smashed, as the robots in the MASH advert would say. Okay, so is there going to be a rook sack or something very shortly? Or is he going to run out of time? Knight b2 for queen c2.
Check.
Right, I'll stop rook c1. There's not queen g6 just yet, is there? Maybe there is. Queen g6 here if I'm not careful. Or rook c1. Am I dead because of queen g6? Oh, blimey. Maybe. I think he's probably. Is he mating me here? Let's just analyse this. I've got a mate in 3 here, but if we just go back here, is rook queen g6?
Check. Check.
Apparently this is okay for some reason. I don't know why. Oh, because I take the rook. Yeah, that's why. So this is okay.
Check.
Yeah, okay. He has to move the rook. He moves the rook. He gets mated. Okay. Maybe I was okay there. All right, just checking. All right. Exciting. Okay. Any other challenges here? Otherwise, we'll play on the 5-minute auto pairing. Okay, I'll play a 5-minute auto pairing game. Spice things up. Okay. Or 3-minute auto pairing. Okay, 2200 GM. Okay. Who's this GM Arada? Arada Rin. I'll play c5 to keep it distinct from here.
Check.
Right, so what we're going to do here without the light square bishop. Play on dark squares, maybe. Dark square strategy. If I play a6, and he's always got e5. If I close that down, he's got bishop g5, knight c7. At least I've locked down e5. Maybe that's worth doing. It's a quick lockdown on e5. So knight c7 plays for b5 anyway. a6 might be a bit slow. So if I play knight c7 here, okay, I've locked down e5 for the moment. I'm playing for b5. Plays a4, a6. I play rook b8, b5. It looks pretty standard stuff so far. So rook b8 for b5. I think the a6 pawn isn't entirely weak. I think I'd like to generate some b-file pressure. Whilst the a6 pawn is held by the knight, I'll go for this plan. b4 dislodges the knight. He can go to the king's side. He can play bishop h6. It's going to be dangerous if he swaps off that bishop. Do I want to consider rook e8 for bishop h6, bishop h8? Is it too late now? Or is it? Maybe I get time for rook e8 here. Oh, he's got knight a4. There's rook b4. So bishop h6, or is he going to play knight a4? There's rook b4, there's c3 there. I don't think I've got anything special on the c3. I don't know if is it even good to provoke c3? I don't think so. Let's play rook b8 here for a moment. If he wants to play c3 to block my bishop, then he could play bishop h6 to get rid of the bishops, which will make e5 more effective. I was playing that here. What was the idea? Knight c5, right? No, there's knight c5. And if it takes d6, that's clever. And so knight takes, bishop takes, knight takes. Is that a big deal? What about if I just play... What if I just play rook b2? It's got knight a6. Takes. Anything else going on? Play rook b2 for a moment. Oh, there's knight d3. Hold on. There's knight d3. That'll be unpleasant. If I played f6 here, doesn't that win material, actually? f6, f4, fg. I'm going to take the knight after. f6. Hold on. There's no knight e6. I just take. That might win material. It takes on e5. Maybe takes. I've got d5 coming up. Queen d5. Okay, moves the bishop. I'll take this one. 2 pieces for the rook. That's fine. Knight d3 I'm taking here. F4, F4 is considered. Takes. What has he got here? D6 or E6? It's dangerous. But his D5 is under fire. Maybe I've got rook B4 for rook D4 in that position. So E6, rook D4. Let's analyse this a bit more. If I just take on A6, okay, 2 pieces. He's got F4 coming. If I play Queen B6 here, it stops F4. I think 2 pieces is pretty good here. If I'm stopping F4 as well, there's Knight C5, maybe Rook F7, Bishop D4, Bishop C5. What's the threat here? I'll just stop this F. Oh, well, Knight C5 for Knight B3. It's both flicking in, I think. Right, so Knight B3 here. Isn't F4 just yet? I think I might be interested in Rook F7 or King G7. He's not going to play F4 here, is he? It's a Knight D3 check. Okay, so Rook F7 for a moment. Go for his alright, if I give my bishop reverse gear. Let's think about this. F4 looks dangerous as well. F4 here looks dangerous. Okay. And Queen B3 is on the Rook and D5. It looks pretty solid. And the Rook again. Knight D3, Rook D1. Anything going on there? There's Knight E6 there for a moment. He's going around my... I can go for Knight G5. You go Queen A6 for Queen C8. But anytime he does that, I just take for F3. I suppose he plays G4 first, and he tries to go around here. Plays G4 first. There's Knight G5. Plays H4. Well, I think he's got time anyway. Oh well. Okay. Thanks for the game, Icon. Let's play another 5-minute auto pairing. Okay. I had a good morning session on ICC this morning. I don't know. It was a really good morning session. I actually beat a GM this morning, beat 2 IMs as well. In the morning session, I scheduled about 13 videos, 14 for the kingscrusher YouTube channel. I got to about, as you see here, about 2360. And my peak is 2380 on the 5-minute auto pairing. I was kind of 20 points away from my peak, but I lost to a 2200. That was this morning. Yeah, I gained about 100 points basically. Yeah, from about 2260 to 2360 this morning. It was quite a fun thing this morning. And I've been playing this solid stuff, boring stuff, against, had good positions against both GMs that I had this morning with this relative of the London system, but it's pretty solid for Blitz. But there's not too many downsides of the position immediately, not too theoretical either, but it's pretty solid stuff. It's almost like playing a reverse French defense with a reasonable bishop here. I mean, that's okay, you can try and exchange it off. I mean, say he does bishop d6, I play for knight e5, maybe f4, sort of stonewall attack formation. Okay, I'll stop bishop a6 for a moment. Maybe, okay, bishop d6, knight e5 for f4 looks interesting. think it's releasing that central tension. I think I will play for a stonewall attack type scenario. As I think rook d1 will be useful. Okay, if I take care with the pawn, try and play from this position, I get a nice knight on d4 here. So let's have a look here. Rook d1, any b4, that might be knight c4, and there's bishop a6. Okay, but can I just put a knight on d4? If I put a knight on d4, first thing to do here, to celebrate the d4 square. I know I've got the doubled pawns, potentially quite weak, but that knight's pretty good. I'm going to swing a rook into the attack. Queen h5, g6, queen h6. Would any attack emerge here? It was going to have queen b2, the knight's holding the bishop, c3 will drop. What can I show here? Maybe f. Let's think about this. I'll invest about 40 seconds here. I think there's only downside to this position with queen h6. Let's play rook e8, bishop f8. Play f4, takes queen b2. c3 is going to drop. Let's imagine rook f3 here. Is it doing anything? More significantly, f5, a rook sack, knight f5. Otherwise there's f6 coming. A rook sack, rook h5. This position where he's got this structure, and I play rook h5. Yeah, I think that's dangerous enough if I'm losing c3. But that's not going to happen. You always play knight e4 or this. Yeah, you can sack a pawn and skewer the rooks. Can I get on with f4, f5? Okay, I'm going to lose c3, but if I get in at f5, he plays g6, I suppose, at some point. We can sack the exchange here as well. There's g6, queen h6. Alright, there's knight b2. Hang on. Is it worth just an exchange sack? Queen h6. Bishop a6 takes f4. This position. You know what? I'm going to do it. Right, so bishop a6. I'll try and play for f4, f5. Or h4, h5. It's not entirely. Or bishop f4, bishop g5. Okay, the queen side's in meltdown. If I take here for a moment to play b3, try and keep the queen side solid for a moment. Right, b3 for a moment. Rook c3. h4, h5, hg, hg. There's knight e6 there. That could be a way of trying to do something. But what is he doing with bishop a6 here? It's a bit dangerous. Bishop a6. If I play bishop b5 just to stop bishop a6. Bishop b5, queen a2, bishop a4, bishop a6. I don't have to worry about b3. I think bishop b5 for a moment. Maybe bishop d7, knight e6. Bishop e6, knight e6, bishop f8, and bishop d7. Knight e6, bishop e6. Oh, this is too dangerous. I gotta get my king out of here before it's too late. Give it h2. Oh, g3 would have been better, and I'm losing f2. Oh, I think this is doomed unless there's e4 here, and I'll drop the knight. It takes on f1 and then wins the knight. This doesn't look entirely great. G3. No, I need to get out of this pin. I think I've had it actually. Yeah, because F2's dropping. It's gone, isn't it? F2's dropping. I think I've had it. I think there's no attack, nothing. Oh, he just goes for G2. No, that's slaughter. Yeah. No, there's no rook C2 immediately. Alright, because of the knight. Okay. Bishop G5, Bishop F8, Queen H4. Rook C1. That's not an immediate. I thought it was an immediate checkmate, maybe it's not. Queen G1, King G3, Queen E1. Right, if I take for Bishop D7, is that my last shot at anything? C1, Bishop E6, King H8, Bishop G5. I could try that as a last shot. I'm threatening mate. Bishop D7, Rook C1, Bishop E6, King H8, Bishop G5, Queen G1, King G3. I want to play Bishop F6 there. Rook C8. Oh, he's on G2.
Check.
Okay. There's Queen F6 here threatened. Takes on G2. Or not.
Time warning. Check.
Yeah.
Check. Check.
Yep. Okay, we've got a challenge here from Bonayo. I'll play the challenge game. Yeah. Oh, that was good. Play by him, yeah, that was something. Oh, what's happened here? Alright, okay, 5-minute auto pairing. So 5-minute auto pairing. Classic Sicilian defense type position. Again, I'm worried about this knight b5. I should castle here, castling into it again. I get to play b4 and bishop b7. Knight e5 to c4, rook c8, knight e5 to c4. Let's give me a bit of time. I think I'll put this knight here. It's like short Kasparov games where Kasparov was putting his knights like this. Try and play for this b file, bishop a8 and b4. g6 is going to be dangerous. There's always bishop f6. I seem to remember bishop f6 has slipped in with the opportunity of try and weaken b2 here on bishop f6, b4, try and get some coordination on b2 here. So bishop f6, you can take, I'll take with the king, or rook f7, knight e6. If I take with the king, is that really asking for it? It probably is. I suppose I can play knight c5 to hold e6 for a moment longer. b4 takes, king h8, knight e6. It's queen a5, knight f8, queen a1, knight b1. There's something with knight c4, takes. Okay, I'll try holding e6 for a moment like this. So I'll play rook f7. Well, that's an interesting and radical idea. I don't know. I'm going to maybe king f7 the way he's playing it, because this c5, if I get to play king f7, that might get slaughtered. I mean, it's possible. Knight e6, I've got d5 under control at the moment. Knight e6, king e6. I get to play rook, okay, it's f4 for example, knight c4. Is there any chance for rook c8 doing anything anytime soon? It's pretty solid actually for a moment. Maybe, do I get a chance for bishop f6 and knight c4 if takes? I've got some pressure on d4. Actually there's queen a2 there. Right, let's try and keep this closed for a moment. I'll play bishop f6 and knight c4 if possible. Knight c4 takes, d6 is weak. I need to nanny d6. Queen takes. There's queen f6. Maybe we'll queen e5. It's queen a1 mate on knight c6. But am I getting mated here? It looks as though I might be getting mated first. Check, king j8, check, king here. Okay, there's no knight c6, queen a1. It looks as though my king's pretty exposed. If it's me to move knight d4, I'm on the rook here. Get the queens off, take the rook. h7, knight d4. Check king here. Right, if I take that, the check, maybe I should try this. Opens up the bishop.
Check.
Right, there's b3. An idea for b3. We've got queen f4 check. Is queen f4 check just winning? That's king e8. Where its next checks after king e8. I've got queen b3. So I've got the king over here.
Check.
And queen. Pretty scary stuff. There isn't queen g5 just yet. Will I have rook f7 for rook f8 for rook f2? Well, there's no queen e5 just yet. I'll try and double rooks for rook f2. There's bishop e6. Okay, there's rook f2 coming. Yeah, I think he had bishop e6. I'll play rook f2 here.
Check.
There's queen g2 here. There's no queen e5 just yet. Anything else? Queen g2 looks interesting. Again, rook f2, king c3, rook c2. Why is the back row's weak? It's good there isn't queen e5 just yet. Okay. Bishop e4 here to shut down the queen for a moment, and then d5. I don't want queen e7 happening. Actually, I haven't got that much time to think about this. Queen d4 is happening. Right, if I play rook f6, oh, hang on.
Check.
Yeah, I think queen, unfortunately. Queen d4, queen e2.
Check. Check. Check.
That's mate here, isn't it? I just slipped up there at the end. Queen c2 is mate. A bit too sharp, these Sicilian games. Okay, yeah, that was... I thought I was a goner because of the queen d4. Yeah. Let's put another water pairing. Okay. Yeah, that was a fun one. Again, I'll try and play solid openings against the IMs and GMs. Just make it a bit safer in the opening phase. Try to make it safer in the opening phase. So it's a pretty solid looking, without too many downsides, this position. Maybe I can shuffle with rook d1, bishop b1, queen d3. Alright, he's going to have this battery in for bishop f3. Is there anything interesting I can do about this setup? Queen d3 for knight h5 might be interesting. I suppose he always plays g6. h3 for knight h2, bishop g2, knight g4. I have this battery here, queen c2, queen d4, or queen d3. Maybe it's worth doing that unless it runs into e5. I'm not sure what am I doing here. Let's just check it, look at this position for a bit. Okay, I can. He's going to double maybe. I'll let him double. Okay, if he wants to double, I'll play knight e4, king h1, rook g1. Right, so I'm creating some sort of weakness. If I go for some weaknesses here with h5, try and just provoke him, I'll play h5. The knight's there, it does support h5. As rook e3 has knight g4. The queen d3 has e5. Does he want to play that? Let's play queen d3. I'm not sure he's playing e5. I'm not sure. I mean, maybe. Maybe I take unleashing that bishop. e5. Have a look at this. I'm opening up the bishop. Okay, I didn't entirely expect that. Maybe c4 d5 is interesting. c4 for d5. It will let me react with e5 with d5 here. It gives knight c5. d5 ed. I wonder about d5 ed knight f5. Maybe going for b5. If I double here, it makes d5 better. Right. Playing for knight e4. I'll hold this. Knight e4, maybe I double. Right. That's undermining my squares quite significantly. Maybe this big d5 square. a3, bishop a2, maybe. It's got this big d5 square. I can play knight e5 maybe. Right, bishop c4 to be avoided. Alright, let's put this back for a moment. If I play knight e5 here, or queen e3, maybe queen d2 for bishop h6. I'll just drop this one. My king's a bit weaker if he takes that. Otherwise, I'm going to play knight e5 if he doesn't. Takes rook e3, queen g4. He's pretty solid, it seems. maybe bishop a2. d5 is not, I suppose, doing anything. Rook e4. I'm going to do something. Maybe bishop h6 will be useful. Takes on knight g4, queen g5. I think bishop h6, bishop h8. King this guy back first. If he wants to play e5, he might play e5, but he weakens f7 a bit. Okay. Does he want to take her? Right, double. c6 is not doing it. c6, queen c6, bishop d5. Okay. Is that queen g5? Rook g5? Oh, he just takes on h6. Knight g4. You take on h6. Hang on, knight g4, bishop d5. For that pin, there's bishop d5. So knight g4, bishop takes d5. Queen g5, knight h7. There's a knight f5. It takes e8's protected. Let's pin that though for a moment. Maybe bishop g6, queen c2. It's on the cards. Takes an h5. h5. And queen.
Check.
Isn't looking too hot.
Check. Time.
Quite a free.
Check. Check.
Ah! Yeah, this has fallen to bits.
Check.
Oh man.
Check.
Ow. Ow, that really fell apart. Ah, okay. It starts with a solid position, falls apart. Okay. It's tough. It's tough. Oh boy.
Check.
He takes her. I like queen d4 here. Oh, that was a quick one. Alright. Back on the auto pairing. Let's play another I am. Okay. Maybe Korokon. d6 here, or knight d7, stop the knight e5. This is okay for queen b6. That's knight d5 after. Knight d5 here. I'll take that. I think I'll castle queenside. So knight b4, you could just take, if I double here, that's c4. Rook d7, c4, knight b4, bishop. Queen b4 is dangerous for my king a bit. Maybe a5 is interesting. F5? It's a bit anti-positional. I was going to play rook b3. I'm dropping h6 as well. I'm hoping there's some sort of card play here with bishop f6. Was there knight f4 on d1? His rooks are not connected yet. Knight f4. Maybe took check is probably nasty. Right, knight f4 here. For a moment. Right, actually, so e6 is protected, thankfully. So, what does he want to do here? Maybe I can just nab this pawn on queen f3. If I just nab that pawn, so it's not danger later. No, I can't nab that pawn. And bishop d6. Or rook d1. Okay, rook d1.
Check.
Right, now bishop d6. Big rook h8, try and win. Nope. Maybe. Think about this. Queen e5 coming up, or this is bad news. Queen e5 or queen h7. Queen h7. Queen knight c4. Queen h7. We've got things like knight d6. I'll probably play it here. Tank's got queen a7. Is there anything better to do here? There's queen c7 there. Maybe that's worth going for. Oh, he's got queen e6. How lost is this? Or is it losing, or is it... It's really bad, I don't know.
Check.
Okay. What does it fend? There's rook b4. Actually, I've got rook e8 for rook e1 there. Cheapo. See what it does with that is king. Let's check. Queen g7. That's a bit of fun.
Check.
Let's go with queen d4. Queen g7, the check. Yeah. Oh, it's mating. There's a queen b6. No, it's not. Queen g7. Check. Check. It's not mating. I'll do this for a moment. Holding b7. Check. Check. So what?
Check. 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 Check.
Draw? No, he's not going for a draw. Okay, this is dangerous.
Check. Check.
He's not going to force queens off somehow, is he?
Check.
Not here, because queen at e5. If I get behind that pawn. How bad is this? Is it really, really bad? It's pretty passive. Not sure I'm doing anything. I think I'm stuffed, unfortunately.
Check. Time warning. Check. Check. Check.
He's going to mate me. That's unfortunate with this checkmate soon. Ah, that doesn't help. Oh, I've lost some time and everything. Yep. Ah, it's pretty tough on the answer pairing. The master of disaster. Let's play Queen's defense. take here. Okay, put this knight on f6, I think. So, c6, bishop f5 will develop here, blocking this bishop for a moment. Or bishop f5. Do I dare play this? Some horrible tactics or something. I'm hoping c6 and e6 is possible. I'll take that. Right, so bishop e7 castle. If he takes, I think, well, I've got an active position here. Active position, CD. Oh. Okay, is it nice that a queen's pawn, or he takes with a knight or something? Queen. Isn't that e5? Isn't that just winning a piece? Hold on, so e5. Knight's pinned. Yes, e5 here looks embarrassing for that pin. Okay, so what does he do about the pin? I'm not sure. I can't see anything. I think, yeah, I can't see anything. Knight f5, just take the queen. Check. I don't think it helps. Knight f5. Can he counterattack anything? I don't think he's walking out of this pin too easily. Blockade. Bishop f6. Nice blockade. And bishop f6. Okay, get this c file. Sort out my. I'll play that for a moment. Okay, so queen c6, queen c2. Or b5, rook c4. There's a few plans. Let's not lose too much time over it. I think. I'll just get rid of a pair of rocks. I'll just get rid of a pair of rocks. Or not. That will strengthen the centre. Let's target d4 instead. That is weakened d4 a bit, that diagonal. So knight b6. This h4's hanging as well. Maybe knight f6 coming up. Okay, change off rooks now. Okay, so I'm gonna take knight b6, or queen h3 for rook c1. That looks pretty efficient in theory. Right, so rook c1 here.
Check.
Before I get mated on h7 or something. Okay, thanks for the game, Master of Disaster. Let's go on the dreaded auto pairing again. Glutton for punishment. The trouble with the auto pairing, it gets mega tough, but anyway, it's part of its charm and interest. We can play. Okay, come on, 5-minute auto pairing, or play a 3-minute auto pairing. Could play on the 3 minutes as well. This is a 3-minute game. And this is a big test. I got a gambit here I use a bit recently. I think it was first mentioned by Charles Story. Oh, he didn't protect e4. Was that some sort of trap? He's going to protect e4 now, right? I'm hoping to get some piece play out of this, which is good enough for a 3-minute game, I assume. I hope. Maybe he's a bit confused by the position. It's not entirely quick at the moment. I see, that's protecting the bishop. And what to do? Queen c7, d6, maybe something like this, or d6, maybe d6, yeah, protect f7, play d5 or d6. Oh, there's knight f5. Yeah, I'm on the back foot here. Is he just playing g4? Oh, blimey. There might be knight e5. Got battery on g2. It's only a 3-minute game. Might be some more chances for randomization here than usual. e4 threatens. Oh no, I didn't see that. Ah, of course he had that. Ah, of course. He's got things under control, this guy. Bishop e5 is not doing anything, I take it. G3, Queen G5, F4, Queen G3. Oh, it's check. You can actually do this. Right, I can play Bishop F4, can I? Not really. I mean, oh, F4 to take on G3. Right, so what do I want to do? Oh my word. It's stuffed. The position is stuffed.
Check. Check.
So I've got knight G3 here.
Check.
This is not helping matters, is it? He's got everything under control.
Check. Check.
There's no checks or anything, which would help. No, I think that's the end of that one. Wow, that was really controlled by the GM for a 3-minute game as well. Wow. Okay, let's try one more on 3-minute. There's time to fit one more in. Okay, I think I'll go with this simple idea. Just a bit of pressure. There's rook d7 threatened, bishop c5. Maybe it's worth playing here. King takes bishop e6 first. King here, rook check. Bishop e6 saves the bishop. Otherwise, I'm taking this knight. Bishop d7. Okay, I'll play the check.
Check.
Okay, he's going to have that whole knight d4. It looks as though his king's in trouble here. It's bishop d6, or e5 for knight e4 to getting into c5 square.
Check.
b4. Gives me bishop c5 again. It's going to take it here. Bishop c5 for rook d7, that's pretty dangerous.
Check.
Alright, it takes on e6. But he's tied down there. I'll play rook d6 instead actually. There's knight e5. But then knight d5, king b7. Well, let's just do this. So we take on g7.
Check. Check.
Well, his rooks are not entirely easy to connect. what's happening here. Activating his rook. Okay. A rook b7. Let's get the possibility of rook a8. Keep some trouble brewing. Okay. Rook g7.
Check.
Let's check on f4, knight d4. And
Check.
just go for this ending. That's pretty bad ending actually. Ugh.
Check.
Try for rook g7. No time. No, I think this is a goner. Yes, I've been a bit annihilated tonight. It's the strength of the ICC being a bit annihilated.
Check. Check.
Yeah, not much hope here, really.
Check. Check.
Yeah, I think he's going to checkmate me in time.
Check.
Whoa, it's been tough tonight, I'm afraid. I think I'll call it a night now. Oh man, that was tough. On every time control. Okay. Anyway. Okay. I'm just going to say, I hope you enjoyed it anyway. It's a bit grim, but you know, there's an occasional fun game, I hope. Well, I hope they're all fun anyway, if not grim. Fun and grim. Okay. I'll see you next week. Maybe I'll try and get revenge next week if I can. Okay. Thanks very much. Cheers. Then. Have a good week. Have a good weekend.